I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian.
And we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to another week, episode 78.
Yeah.
Feels so weird recording like this. We're on our fourth episode now.
Yeah, we're like training them through today.
Yeah. We're going on vacation next week.
Yeah.
Got 2 days and then we're going to Savannah.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, we'll already be home. So
yeah,
whatever. We're going to Savannah, y'all. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right. What did you love about this week?
This week I'm gonna predict that I'm gonna like getting my toes in the sand. I like being in a spooky place.
Savannah's not spooky. She just got heavy energy. Okay. It was literally one of the largest ports in the transatlantic slave trade. So
loving going to the beach.
To the beach. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like it's late in the day. It's only 3:00 in the afternoon, but
maybe sun's out, guns out.
Oh, cheese and rice. Yum.
What did you love about this week, baby?
I will also love going to the beach. I just love Savannah in general. I'm gonna love taking Patty to Bonaventure Cemetery.
Yeah,
which we're 1000% going to come hell or high water.
Sure.
It's funny because
should take our EVP with us.
Oh hell yeah, we can take the whole kit.
Yeah.
It's funny because like it's supposed to be scattered thunderstorms the whole time we're there, like off and on for like the 4 days we're there, and I'm like, I don't care. Like we'll bring umbrellas, it'll be fine.
Like, it'll clear up at some point.
I don't care
while we're there.
What Savannah looks like. It would suck if we couldn't go swimming because, like, obviously you can't go swimming when it's thunderstorm. The St. Point break, right? But walking around Savannah in the rain in July,
not bad.
It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. What pod did you listen to this week?
This week we're doing our we're continuing on with our podcast promotions, and so this week I got a chance to listen to the podcast Rainy Day Rabbit Holes.
You're not the only one. I've also been listening to Rainy Day Rabbit Holes.
They're pretty good, huh?
I follow them on Spotify now.
So they do Pacific Northwest history, and they're done by two ladies named by the names of Shea. Is it Shea or Shay?
Probably just Shay.
So it's Shay and Jody, and they do it in kind of a whimsical fashion. The episode I listened to, they talked about a giant mushroom system that grows in the forest of Oregon and like completely kills off all plant life where it goes because it just eats everything. But they were pretty funny, talking about mushroom dicks and all, and
yeah, but this mushroom's like something like 9,000 square miles or something.
It is.
It is huge. The largest living organism
and it's all
on
one,
the planet.
Yeah, it's all one thing.
It's all one mycelium.
Yep.
It blows your mind when you like find out about this mushroom.
Yeah. So go check out their episode on it. You can find them at the rainydayrabbitholes.com.
Yeah. And like I said, I actually listened to them too. They're really, really cool. I've added them into my podcast repertoire. I'm like 2 weeks behind on my podcast.
Yeah.
Good thing we have a 5-hour trip coming up.
Yeah.
All right. For the stuff, if you would like, you can follow us on our socials at Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, as well as watching our videos on YouTube by searching for the Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you would care to become a regular supporter, we have a Patreon. That is patreon.com/the paranormal lovers. We have one $5 tier that you can try for 1 week free and cancel if you feel it is not something you like. While there, you get early access to the videos of these episodes, and that is unedited. Have fun with that. As well as a weekly episode of our true crime show, Deadly Lovers. This show is all about love that drives people to commit murder as well as other evil things. And
severely evil.
Yeah, we just covered the Moores murders. Again, we're like recording in 1 day, so we're still reeling from that one.
Yeah.
And lastly, if you have a personal true crime or paranormal story you would like to have read on an episode of Paranormal Personals, or if you have a topic request, or if you just want to yell at us for our super liberal opinions, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. And here I go with some super liberal bullshit.
Yeah.
Come at me. So, this week we're going to be looking at a topic that most people probably believe to be a thing of the past. Some people probably don't even believe it was ever real, but they damage don't even believe it is real, but it is. I have no idea what I was trying to say right there. There's too many days and there shouldn't be. But it is, and the damage done is very real for the victims.
Right.
This week we are going to be looking at conversion therapy. And then on my next episode, we will go through some accounts of survivors who have been sent to conversion camps.
Right.
Warning, we are going to be discussing forms of torture and suicide in the queer community, mainly with teenagers.
It's horrible.
It really, really is. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, quote, conversion therapies or reparative therapies are interventions purported to alter same-sex attractions or an individual's gender expression with the specific aim to promote heterosexuality as a preferred outcome, end quote.
Didn't like Geraldo Rivera have like one of the conversion things on one of his episodes one
I'm
time?
pretty sure they all did.
Like
Like
all the
Geraldo, Montel,
right.
Mari, like Ricky, I'm pretty sure they all had an
They were
episode
like,
on
"Oh, he's
conversion
got
therapies.
Satan in him because he's gay."
The AACAP does not support conversion therapy, nor do they believe sexuality or gender identity is a pathological issue. Quote, variations in sexual orientation and gender expression represent normal and expectable dimensions of human development. They are not considered to be pathological, therefore, they are not included in the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders and other accepted nosological systems. End quote. Let me say it again for the people in the back. Homosexuality and gender identity is not a pathological issue, therefore, it is not a mental disorder.
Right.
Okay. I've been screaming this shit at people for like the last 3 weeks. Anytime I'm on social media,
Yeah.
people are like, oh, this is a mental illness. I'm like, guess what, motherfucker?
No.
Mm-mm. As you will learn, this shit was delisted in 1973. Thank you very much.
Right.
Try me again. Now, those who have heard of these camps are probably aware that they were not great and in some ways can be seen as abusive.
Oh, for sure.
Quote unquote treatments vary. Quote, methods that have been used to this end include forms of brain surgery, surgical or hormonal castration, aversion treatments such as electric shock, nausea inducing drugs, hypnosis counseling, spiritual intervention, visualization, psychoanalysis, and arousal reconditioning, end quote.
What the hell?
Oh, we'll get to it. Within the scientific community, it is unanimous that not only do these methods not work, but they cause long-lasting damage. It has been described as, quote, torture, cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment and contrary to human rights, end quote.
Yeah.
Conversion therapy is considered a misnomer or a name that is incorrectly applied. It is not a recognized form of therapy.
Right.
There's like cognitive behavioral therapy and like all these different therapies. This ain't it.
No.
In any scientific community, conversion therapy is not a recognized form of therapy.
Right.
Other names may include sexual orientation and or gender identity change efforts. Some people will even call it reparative therapy, which is a legitimate form of therapy, but not in the ways it is used here.
Right.
Other advocates for conversion therapy will use phrases like healing from sexual brokenness and struggling with same-sex attraction. Again, all of this is bullshit because being queer is not something to be fixed. It's just a normal part of humanity.
Right.
The terms homo and heterosexual were coined by writer Carl Maria Kirkbenny, and by the 1880s, it was common terminology. For people who want to scream about words not being real, all words are made up words, motherfuckers.
It's true.
By the middle of the 20th century, there were clear sides on the topics of sexuality. Sigmund Freud viewed homosexuality as a form of arrested development, which he possibly meant to mean that homosexuals had a mental impairment. Later, Sandor Rado, as well as others since, argue that homosexuality is, quote, a phobic avoidance of heterosexuality caused by inadequate early parenting, end quote. So if your kid's queer, it's because you're a shit parent.
All right, then.
Okay.
I guess I'm a shit parent.
Well, as far as
But we don't know about Patty yet.
95% sure she's not, which is like, okay, fine, whatever. She can love who she loves because she does love that little boy Vincent.
Yeah.
That
She's
little
got some
brown boy
crushes.
Vincent. While homosexuality was classified in the DSM-5, this was the most common reasoning for the quote-unquote disorder. On the flip side, researchers of sexology, or the study of human sexuality, quote, argue that homosexuality is a normal variation in human development, end quote. In 1973, after being confronted by queer activists, the American Psychiatric Association delisted homosexuality as a mental disorder. Of course, this has not stopped conservatives from still fighting to make it illegal on quote unquote moral grounds.
Right.
They are fighting to make sure it is not a protected class, as they believe sexuality can be changed. Much like racism, the thought of binary sexuality has been ingrained in the medical field. Models of the human form always take a female with a vagina and breast and male with no breast and penis. And yet, medically speaking, although it is a small percentage of the population, there are people born with both a vagina and a penis, and there are also people born with neither a vagina or a penis, and yet you never see representations of these models in doctors' offices.
No.
Which, like, why not?
Sure.
If there's even 0.1% of the population that is born like this, then we should have, at the minimum, a poster of the representation of what their body can look like.
Right.
Another conservative thinker theorized that children who were AMAB, or assigned male at birth, and show gender nonconforming behaviors do so due to an overly close relationship with their mothers. How are you not gay?
I don't know.
You have a real close relationship with your mom. How are you not gay? Makes no sense. Richard Green also studied this theory and implemented a quote-unquote treatment plan based on it. Quote, having the father spend more time with the child and mother less, expecting both to exhibit stereotypical gender roles, and having them praise their child's masculine behavior and shame their feminine and gender nonconforming ones, end quote. Gross. Just gross. Like, I'm over here, this little boy once told Patty that she wasn't a girl, really a girl, if she wasn't wearing a dress.
Mm-hmm.
That lost my shit. I'm like, I'll snatch that little boy up. Don't make him try me. I can't imagine like being like, well, yeah, you have to wear a dress because you were born with a vagina. It's just the way the world works.
Yeah, no.
What? Anyways. In the 70s, Green recruited Ole Ivar Lovas.
Ivar.
Ole. It's O-L-E, Ivar. Ole Ivar.
Ole Ivar.
Ole Ivar. To adapt therapy techniques to stop children from becoming transsexual. This was called the quote-unquote Feminine Boy Project and was much more of the same reward punishment bullshit.
Yeah.
Up in Toronto, Kenneth Zucker used Green's model with the addition of psychodynamic therapy at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. This was done through the center's Gender Identity Clinic. In 2015, members of Rainbow Health Ontario went to the center with their concerns over Zucker's methods. They came with academic literature on the dangers of conversion therapy and guidelines for how to deal with queer youth. They showed how the same methods Zucker was using were known to lead to suicide attempts. They referenced the case of Leila Acorn from Ohio. This is going to piss you off. This is going to piss you off. Leila was born on November 15th, 1977, assigned male at birth, in Kings Mill, Ohio, to parents Carla and Doug Acorn, who were members of the Churches of Christ movement. Leila completed suicide on December 28th, 2014. In her suicide note, which she posted on Tumblr, she wrote about, quote, societal standards affecting transgender people and expressing the hope that her death would create a dialogue about discrimination, abuse, and lack of support for transgender people, end quote.
It's horrible.
So, what pushed this beautiful girl to end her life at 17? Religion and conversion therapy.
Yeah.
Leela was assigned male at birth and came out to her parents as transgender when she was 14. They did not accept this and instead shamed her and told her that she would never be a girl. At 16, Leela asked her parents about possibly starting her transition, but instead they sent her to a faith based conversion camp. After she revealed her attraction to boys, hoping to ease people into her new identity slowly, her parents took her phone and banned her from any social media for 5 months.
Wow.
When they finally gave her phone back to her, it was too late and many of her friendships had been ruined.
Right.
To this day, her parents cite their religious beliefs as the reasons they did not then and still do not now accept their daughter as their daughter. They still use her dead name and misgender her every time they do an interview. As for Zucker, in November of 2015, a review was published on the clinic at CAMH, which led to it being closed down and Zucker being fired. Leela's case is not rare, sadly. The most common motivation for sending kids off to these camps is religion. They say it is to save their child's soul, but really it is to save face with the church or family and friends. Which literally makes me sick to my stomach, the fact that these parents would rather have a dead child than a queer child.
Right.
And
It's
that's
horrible.
literally boils. Like, people are like, oh no, I wouldn't want to believe that. I just want him to be a boy. And when he was born a boy. No, you want your child to be dead instead of having to accept the fact that your child doesn't feel comfortable in the body they were born in.
Yeah.
Maybe you got some shit to do with that. I don't know. It makes me mad.
Yeah, me too.
Now, with the different types of quote unquote treatments, there are varying level of damage that can be done both mentally and physically. With aversion therapy, queer pornographic images will be shown while shock is applied. They are forced into an ice bath. They are given nausea inducing medications so they feel sick the whole time, or they may even be burned with hot metal.
Jesus.
The goal is to drive out the homosexual thoughts. When the method is stopped and heterosexual images are shown in an attempt to foster same sex attraction.
Right. I don't think that's the way attraction works, people.
What tends to happen is every time the victim has a sexual thought about someone of the same sex, their body remembers the trauma and they are filled with fear, shame, and disgust
Right.
at themselves. While some advocates of conversion claim that this technique did lead to a decrease in homosexual thoughts, it did not help increase or create an attraction to the opposite sex.
Right.
So, like, yeah, some people could be like, okay, well, I don't think about dick as much, but I'm not thinking about vagina either. So,
Yeah.
this method was created in Czechoslovakia in the 50s and 60s when homosexuality was illegal. By 1961, the Czechs had concluded that aversion therapy did not work, and they recommended that homosexuality be decriminalized. In the 40s and 50s, a form of torture was used right here in the good old US of A to try and quote unquote cure homosexuality. Would you like to guess what method they tried to use?
I have no clue.
The ice pick lobotomy,
Jesus.
which was created by Walter Freeman,
Oh my God.
was touted as a cure
Of course it was.
for the quote unquote disorder. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. If you take an ice pick and shove it up in there and then go,
They're not gonna
it's,
think anything
I'm not going to be
anymore.
thinking of anybody's genitals. Like, also,
What the hell?
shout out to the Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast. Y'all go listen to them. It's Mom Jane and son Declan. They actually just did an episode on Walter Freeman. And so Jane doesn't do eyeball things. She was like, we're going to have to name this episode the one where Jane throws up.
Right.
Um,
Just the thought of that ice pick in beside your eyeball.
mhm. In Germany, they used a surgery to destroy a part of the hypothalamus. Oddly, not the worst thing Germany did to queer men. Mainly men, too. I don't get it. People have a tolerance for lesbians, but not queer men
Right.
because men are gross. Anyways, in the early 1900s, a gay man would have his testicles removed, and then the testicles of a straight man would be transplanted into a scrotum. I should have gave you a trigger warning for that. Sorry. Yeah, they would do
Now,
ball
mine
transplants.
is also eyeballs and fingernails,
Yeah.
but
Yours is teeth.
yeah, and teeth.
You remember that one? That one we watched about the street dentist? He
Mm-hmm.
was just pulling people's teeth out there in the road.
Oh,
Anyways, often removing the testicles altogether or surgical castration was done throughout Europe. In the Nazi era, queer people were sent to concentration camps in the thousands. Some SS party members believed a jail sentence for being queer was not enough to eliminate the homosexuality. If a young man, some as young as 16, was willing to get castrated, he would be given the chance to not be sent to the camps.
hmm.
Many were not given the option, however, and even in the concentration camps, you were not safe from getting castrated.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, they were forced to wear a pink upside down triangle.
Hmm.
That was their symbol that they were queer.
Wow.
In Camp Buchenwald, a doctor attempted to change men's sexuality by injecting a testosterone pellet into them.
A pellet?
Pellet.
Jesus.
It didn't work, and many of them died.
I bet.
Mhm. Hypnosis has been used in conversion therapy as well as psychoanalysis, reparative marriage, and gender exploratory therapies. All of these therapies seek to quote unquote uncover the cause of the issue. Exploratory therapy also encourages the patient to explore heterosexual relationships. Which honestly, if they were like, okay, well, you're queer, have you tried dating someone of the opposite sex? Like, just give it a shot. And then that way you can say for sure, like, yeah, no, no, thank you. But no, they're
Right.
just like, well, you're gay because of this. Well, let's fix that. And you should explore homosexual or heterosexual relationships too. Like, gross.
Right.
All of these methods seek to place blame on someone for the patient having this quote unquote disorder, and most often than not, that guilt lands squarely on the queer person's shoulders.
Right.
There are no studies showing any of this works to change someone's sexuality or gender identity. In fact, studies have shown that people forced into conversion therapy are more likely to have substance abuse disorders, mental illnesses, and exhibit self destructive behavior. Teens who have been sent to the camps are twice as likely to commit suicide than queer teens who have not. Countries such as Canada, Germany, Mexico, and Spain have laws against conversion therapy. Countries such as Albania, Chile, Vietnam, and Taiwan have laws against medical professionals performing any version of conversion therapy. According to a Times article from December of 2023, conversion therapy is banned in 22 states in the US and DC, but there are still roughly 1,300 people or places in the US publicly advertising conversion treatments.
Right.
Like, you can just Google the shit
Yeah,
and
I
find it.
did actually.
You did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only states that do not have anyone offering these services, there are two: Vermont and Hawaii.
Wow.
That's because Vermont has like 100,000 people total,
Yeah.
which is like how many people live in this county. And Hawaii's because like, yeah, we love the gay people. What's wrong with y'all?
Right.
Over half of the 1,300 people or places, of over half of the 1,300 people or places, over half of them are through religious organizations, making them mostly exempt from the bans due to religious freedom.
Right.
Religion.
Yeah.
Religion. That's where we're going to leave you this week. Next week, we are going to look at some stories of survivors who have made it out of the camps, or at least who did make it out of the camps at the point that they told their stories.
Right.
So that is some history on conversion camps and the damage they do to people.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I'm actually surprised like my mom didn't send me to one. I got sent to group homes and shit for being a bad kid.
Yeah.
And here I am 25 years later pissed off because I'm like, you should have had me tested for ADHD, you bitch.
Yeah.
I love you, Mom, but I'm mad about it. Real mad about it. But yeah, so what do you think about that, Bill?
It's horrible.
It's terrible stuff.
The things religious people do to, like, I don't know,
Save your soul.
in the name of religion, like,
to save your soul.
it's so dumb. Like, just let people live their lives. Like,
this is why, like,
you ain't gotta make everybody just like you. Like,
when I scream about Christians, this is the kind of fucking people I'm screaming about.
Yeah.
This is it right here. Not you, not your mom, not other people that I know that are call themselves Christians. Not even like the Pruitts and shit. It's these people.
Well, they may think that they're trying to help somebody, but really they're just harming them.
They think they're trying to save their soul when in reality what they're doing is killing it.
Yep. For sure.
Like, if anyone ever hears this and you are upset because your child is queer, for one, get over it.
Yeah.
I guess you're allowed to have your feelings be sad because, you know, you won't get to, I don't know, whatever weird, stupid, stereotypical, gender normative bullshit you're expecting to do. You have to accept your child for who they are.
You have to.
Or you're going to kill them.
Yep.
And me, for one, I don't give a fuck who Patty ends up loving.
Me neither.
I really don't. As a pansexual woman myself, I don't care who Patty ends up loving.
Yeah.
If you die, I highly doubt I'll ever be with another man. Yeah. Like, you're it for me, bro. I'll be with every woman after you if something happens to you, but
yeah,
you're it for me. So come kill me, I guess. I don't know. Take me to conversion therapy. Sorry, y'all. I'm out of it. It's almost 4:00. I haven't had a nap today.
No.
I'm tired. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. My podcast. I like my fat arms, chicken wing. Flying. Sorry. All right, guys. We love you. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.